there, folks. Good day to you all. Yeah, I've had a mate on. There's very, very few people that know about this channel that know me. I haven't sort of put the word out there yet. As I say, I want it to grow of its own accord, really. But I did something earlier on Schofield, maybe being offered some at Talk News as a presenter there, which hopefully will not happen, but there's something on the internet about it today. And I actually mentioned the roster of presenters on there. I mentioned the infamous Jeremy Kyle, Morgan. I mentioned Osbourne. I don't know if she's still on there, but I think I called her the Poison Dwarf. I said I wouldn't trust her as far as I could throw her. On the back of that, a pal of mine, as I say, messaged me earlier, said, "What do you dislike about Sharon? She's alright, isn't she?" Well, as I say, for me, I wouldn't trust her as far as I could throw her. I mean, let's go through the facts here. She's Don Arden's daughter. Don Arden used to run bands with an iron fist. They said he was linked to organised crime. He wasn't the nicest person in the world. She says it herself. She finally left him, left her father, and managed Ozzy Osbourne. Lots of people will say Ozzy's got where he has because of Sharon Osbourne and because of what she did, and she was the woman behind him. Don't get me wrong on that one. But what happened to Ozzy Osbourne that got him out of the gutter? Because when Sabbath got rid of him because he couldn't be trusted no more, he was in the gutter. You know, he was absolutely nowhere. He luckily, and I say luckily, met a gentleman called Randy Rhoads, an absolute gem of a guitarist who nobody had really heard of before that. Just a world-beating guitarist. They formed a partnership and did a couple of LPs together. Randy Rhoads is now no longer sadly with us. Died in a plane crash. I say a plane crash. A plane actually hit, I think, a tour bus that he was in next to an airfield many, many years ago now. Great guitarist and by all accounts a wonderful human being. I'll tell you how nice Ozzy is, by the way. I think only a few weeks before Randy Rhoads got killed, I think on a tour bus he mentioned to Ozzy Osbourne that after this tour or this LP or whatever, I've had enough, I want to retire, I've had enough, I want to leave the band. Ozzy was drunk at the time, and he's probably 2 or 3 sizes bigger than Randy Rhoads. Randy was only a little gent, a really little elf-like person, really, and I'm not knocking him at all there. I thought he was brilliant. Ozzy's response to that was to punch Randy Rhoads full in the face. The guy that gave him a pass back into life and back into the limelight, he punched him full in the face. Unbelievable bullying. Anyway, Sharon sort of backed him, and on the back of those LPs they did well, and they got the series, the Osbournes, and that did really well. So then she got the X Factor gig. Wasn't the nicest person on there, but at the time, because she'd done well with the Osbournes and because she made old Simon laugh and because she was outrageous, she become well liked and did well on there. I always saw through it viewers, I never liked her. Never liked the time when she threw the glass of water in old Danny Minogue's face. What could old Danny do? You know, alright, Danny might not have been the most talented person in the world, but one, she was very, very good looking and young, 2 things that Sharon wasn't, although Sharon was doing her best to look younger with the help of all the cosmetic surgery in the world. But 2, at the time, and we only found out later, that she was also sleeping with the boss, Simon Cowell. Well, Sharon wouldn't have liked that, because she liked Simon and thought Simon thought the world of her. She'd be disappointed that he was sleeping with old Danny Minogue, and we only know that because, obviously, Simon is one of those kind of people that has an affair but likes to let people know. Obviously, he's going to let her know, isn't he? As I say, she wasn't the most talented person in the world, but she was much, much, much better looking than him and younger than him, so he was punching above his weight there. Some would say, what attracted Danny to Simon? I've no idea. Maybe the fact that at the time he had £300 million in the bank, he was the boss of the show, it was the most successful show probably on British TV, and he was probably the most well-known presenter on British TV. But anyway, it is what it is, isn't it? So anyway, Sharon moves on from there, and throughout her life, Sharon Osbourne has upset people. She's upset people and she's walked all over people. She'll say she hasn't, but she has. Famously, she's had a big falling out with Bruce Dickinson. Many of you might not know him. He's the lead singer in the heavy metal band, heavy rock band, Iron Maiden. Very successful band. Famously, he was appearing at one of Ozzy's concerts, Ozfest, I think it was in America a good few years ago. She didn't like Bruce Dickinson, so she got herself and members of the audience to actually throw eggs at him, raw eggs, whilst he was singing, and then had the sound turned down. What else has she done in the past? Well, ex-band members of Ozzy's have always said they've been underpaid, they've been owed money by her, And when they've come out in public and complained about her, she's thought, well, I'll get my own back on them. And what she went and did was she re-recorded almost all of the original Ozzy Osbourne LPs, all the ones that were making good money, re-recorded it with new musicians, probably session musicians, because you'd have to pay them a lot, and put those recordings out there so all the old recordings don't get bought anymore. So all the people that were owed money that wrote the songs weren't getting royalties, weren't getting paid. Very naughty, but that's Sharon. And the other rumour is, and it's only a rumour, I don't know if it's true, although I think somebody once somewhere that she admitted to it. I think in about 2016, when Ozzy Osbourne was halfway through one of his well-known affairs, or not so well-known affairs, he wouldn't admit to having the affair, but she knew he was having an affair, and I think she's told others since that she slipped him an extra 2 sleeping pills. Got him so he wasn't compass mentis, didn't know what he was saying or where he was, and because he was under the influence of an extra 2 sleeping pills, which probably could have killed him, he told her the truth and admitted to the affair. Now, when Sharon's regularly worrying about Ozzy's health and worry about on all the falls he's having and how he's banging himself up and doing himself damage and stuff, you've got to ask, mate, did that episode contribute in any way towards it? And whether or not it did, is that something that a right-minded adult would do to another adult, especially one that's your husband? I'm not so sure it would be, But anyway, I don't like her. I don't trust her. She tries to be outspoken just to get people on her side, but she's got no talent herself for my money, and I think she's done well on the back of her husband, who did well on the back of Randy Rhoads. And that to me, funnily enough, no, all this happened, and then I went downstairs after doing my earlier video, really weird, I'm flicking through a newspaper, and there's a headline there from Geezer Butler. How could I have forgotten that? Geezer Butler, the bass player of Black Sabbath, the band that Ozzy Osbourne made his name with. Someone said to Geezer, do you speak much to Ozzy anymore? We don't talk really, although I love him, we love each other. Why do you not talk? It's the wives, he said. The wives don't get on. Now, I don't know Geezer Butler's wife. I don't know who she is. What it will be is his wife doesn't get on with Sharon Osbourne. There's no doubt about that. Geezer Butler seems a nice, decent, genuine, level-headed guy. I'm sure he's married to a normal person. And probably because she's normal and decent, she doesn't like the way Sharon Osbourne conducts herself and the way she treats people. I would guess it's that. I don't know. I'm only guessing. But I thought it was really weird on the back of my mate's text to say, what about Sharon Osbourne? Do you not like her? And then I read about Geezer Butler the same day, saying that his wife doesn't get on with her. Very strange, viewers. Sorry I rambled on. Just thought I'd give you my views on Sharon Osbourne.